Okay.
Good morning. I'd like to welcome you to the Commissioners meeting for April 6th. Are you ready to go?
Yep.
Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everyone. Bill, our chairman, is not able to be here again today, so got our agenda. If you don't have an agenda, it's probably a copy. I got copies there. First thing we have is the minutes. The minutes, I asked that we table the minutes. They're not quite finished yet, so from our March 16th meeting. So we'll table those. We need a motion on that.
We normally do.
I'll make a motion, we'll table the minutes until the, what is it?
20th?
And the 20th meeting.
I'll second. All in favor of table the minutes till April 20th from March 16th?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Thank you.
Not too bad. Could you speak up a little bit, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sure. Next is their approval of our claims.
I'll make a motion that we approve all the claims as presented.
And I will second. A motion's been made and seconded to approve all claims as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. And then we're ready for Greg.
And I have another
You
claim.
have an,
Yeah. From the treasurer's office, it's for her postage for the tax statements. This didn't come over until late after the agenda went out and everything.
Okay.
It's to L&D Mail Masters. It's for $8,475.53.
8,700.
8475
847.
53.
Okay, we have additional claim, $8,475.30.
53.
53 cents.
I still got it wrong. 53.
I'll make a motion that we approve the claim that ended up coming in late for $8,475.53 for postage to mail out tax statements.
Get that figures right here. And I'll second the motion. All in favor of approving the additional claim in the amount of $8,475.53 for postage for tax statements.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Can you sign it, please?
Oh, yeah, I guess, no, I don't want to sign it, but
Just down at the bottom somewhere.
sorry. Thank you. Okay, Greg, you're up. Court Board President Greg Nipple.
I'd like to introduce to you my applicant for the Park Stewart and Deer Creek Park, Diana Myers. She's going to do us a great job. I was fortunate enough to, I was instructed from the last meeting to maybe talk to somebody that might be interested. She was the first person I talked to, and she said she would love to do it. So, thank you, Jesus. That's as far as I had to go. So, all I'm looking for today is for your approval, and she can go on away and get back to a real job.
Yep. I'll make a motion that we accept her as Park Stewart for Deer Creek Park.
I'll second the motion. All in favor of approval of Diane Diana Myers. Say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
See you later.
Good luck.
Lunch.
She'll do a good job.
She will. I was very lucky,
Is she
very lucky.
From Deer Creek?
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
gonna do okay.
7 minutes away. Yeah,
Good.
nice person. Okay, the other thing I have, I think you have the
Yes, for the-
bids for the handicap
Yeah, that's hat right here.
parking and sidewalk for the French Post Park. I actually was fortunate enough to get 5 bids,
Wow.
but there's 2 of them that are way out there in outer space. They were very high.
Wanted to have a chance to look at them, Greg, if you wanna.
They're all real close together, those 3 that you have. 2 of them are local contractors. The lowest one, he's not local, but he just lives right across the river, so you could say he's local. And they all do good work. I've dealt with them in the past.
Okay. Have you looked through all these, you've studied these? They all have the same, same design?
Yeah,
They're all same
I'm the one
spec?
that drew that up. That's what we went off of.
That's what they
I
went
told
off
them
of, okay.
that's what I wanted. I have a little bit of construction experience.
Okay.
It appears everything's 6 inches deep.
Unknown caller.
4 inches. 6-inch depth, handicap parking slab. Sidewalks 4 inches. So we got
And Greg, you made the comment, you feel comfortable with any 3 of these doing the work?
I'd like to do the lowest, that's normal procedure for me, but they're all right there in the ballpark.
Yeah,
And I concur, do
And the lowest one, his grandfather and father did the same kind of work, and he come up through the ranks. He's a fine gentleman. And he said he could get to it like
quick.
I'd like to get it. I don't have the money in my budget,
Right.
so I need to find the money someplace. I would really like to see it done before school's out. That's when the park is used the heaviest, especially the playground and the shelter area with picnics and church events and stuff like that.
Get in, get it done, so it's cleaned up when traffic comes.
With that, I will make a motion that we contract with Dustin Watson Construction for $10,542 for the construction of an ADA compliant sidewalk at French Post Park with the funds coming from, I'll give two, rainy day and, or edit. Which would go in front of the council.
Right, and then I would have to get them in to be advertised before they,
Right.
so it won't go in till May.
Well, if we want to expedite it, COMM cap,
Still same thing,
Same thing, isn't
still
it?
the same thing.
Yeah.
unless you have an area that's designated for that, but I don't believe you have anything
Yeah.
for that.
That's part of the process.
Yeah,
Yeah, we gotta
I don't know.
work with the council to get approval to move money.
When do you think would be the earliest target date? Just
So you gotta
with
advertise
a
it.
educated guess.
May 21st,
Yeah.
May?
yeah. May 21st, because their next meeting is next week, and you have to advertise it so many days ahead of time. But still, their meeting is not till May 21st.
Okay.
Either that or wait till fall, put it off till fall.
No, we don't put it off. It's a project that's been long overdue. I mean, it's rough terrain.
Oh, I know.
I mean, I've had people tell me that, well, why do you need a handicap sidewalk there? Or, we never see anybody handicapped there. I said, because they can't get there. It's all rough ground. I mean, it's,
All three.
Right.
Yeah, COMM cap.
No, I agree with you.
Really,
That-
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
an option you have,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't. I know you'd like to have it done right now, but it's just not gonna work that way. I'll second the motion. All in favor of Scott's motion with the approval of $10,542 to come from, for this project at French Post Park, either rainy day or edit funds.
COMM cap, and I added COMM cap.
Added COMM cap.
So three options.
I'll try to find you money somewhere. So that being said, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
all right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, department heads. Is Hunter here? There you are.
I don't really have too much today, just a little update. We got both of the graders up and going, trying to grade as much as we can when the weather's permitting. That being said, both of our old drag tractors just went down, so we have both graders up and running, ready to hit the roads whenever we can get to them. Both the drag tractors are down, but hopefully about a week and a half, we'll have them up and going. We're starting to have some issues out of them, so hopefully we'll get them back up and going and get the drags out as well. Almost finished on the chip and seal list for you guys to look over and see what you think. Trying to go and finish that up this week, hopefully, and get that kind of going. Same with the wedging too. I'm wanting to do a little more wedging this year, so kind of got a map of both for you to look at by hopefully next meeting.
Any progress on the road inventories?
Yeah, trying to get there. Yeah, it's been a mess. But yes, trying to get there. Lauren got a hold of me about a road I got to go up and look at hopefully this week since I'm back now. So I'll get up and look at that road. But yeah, it seems like once you start digging into that up there, it turns into a mess.
Well,
But hopefully I'll have something figured out by next meeting as well with that, hopefully.
concerning the tractors, is that something our mechanics can take care of?
Yeah. They're just, one's the hydraulic pumps went out of it. I mean, they're 1997 tractor, and the other one's a 1998, I believe. So they're just showing their age and starting to, just the wear and tear is starting to get to them. So the other one's just solenoids, which is electrical mess right now. but hopefully within a week, week and a half, they should get it up and going. Well, both of them up and going, so.
Well, the nice thing about those tractors, they don't have all electronics. that
Yes.
the New ones have.
Yes, it's not like the new one, so they're a lot easier to work on. Usually if something goes wrong, it's either the hydraulic pump or something kind of
Right.
simple. It don't turn into a,
It's mechanical.
yeah, too big of a deal anyways. And then hopefully gonna start on the 500 north. Waiting, we're about 3 weeks out. We should start getting the multi-plate delivered, the arch for that project. And when that happens, that road will be shut down. I'm gonna say 2 weeks just to be safe, but I'm hoping we can get in there and, well, the contract get in and get it done in about a week and a half. So that's gonna be kind of a big project coming up in the next 3-4 weeks.
Is that the culvert there north of camp?
Yeah, the one that, yep, one's kind of caving in there and gave away. So that, hopefully, we're just waiting on it because they got to build the arch. Since we're going with the arch one, they're building it now. So hopefully it'll be in within 3 weeks, and week and a half, 2 weeks, we should have it all ripped out and put in. So.
Okay, we received a letter here that you need to look at and
Okay.
address.
Okay.
I'll give you a copy of it.
Okay.
It has to do with the Bicycle Bridge subdivision road.
Okay.
And
I'll take a look at it.
Okay.
then. Okay.
I think I can give it to
Oh,
you.
perfect.
Oh, you got a copy for him? Okay, and Greg, I apologize. We didn't get to the contracts. The lawn mowing. We have the contracts for the lawn, that's down at the bottom though, isn't it? We're gonna address the contracts for the,
That's after the department heads.
oh, okay. Okay, sorry. Okay. Carroll Manor.
I think this is yours. Is it?
Hi, gentlemen.
Good morning.
I don't have many updates. We've lost a couple residents that have passed on us within the last month. We just lost Bonnie Widner on Friday. So that's the second one within a month that we've lost. And then the lady that you guys approved, the Inzucli, she came. She did not work out. She needed a higher level of care than what we could give her. The things they told us she could do, she could not do. And her erratic behavior was not helping it at all. But I do have interest. I have a couple people that's taken applications for the rooms, for the other spare rooms that we have at this moment in time. But other than that, that's all that's going on. It's like a roller coaster, up and down, of course. But and just being short-staffed, I had 2 cooks out. One had stomach problems, was in the hospital. The other one fell and broke her ankle. So I've been covering cooks, and my aides have been covering cooks, and been covering aides, and so. It's been pretty busy out there. That's the recent update I have.
Does that put us at 24?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Still not bad.
No.
No.
I know one's going to be leaving in the future, Carolyn Maxwell, which is a top paying person, due to she's from Carmel. So she's going to move back to Carmel where all her friends and family's at. And she'll be going to Majestic Care down there. Hate to see her go, but she wants to go home, so she's going to go down there to that facility down there. Like I said, I have a couple applications out there, so I guess we'll see when we get them back and what's going on with those.
Progress on RCAP.
I haven't sat down, haven't had time to sit down and figure out who has Medicaid and who has lower than $1,300 income. I don't have time to sit down much of anything, so I've been aiding the floor and cooking and stuff, all different shifts myself. With one aide on the floor, it's very, very hard and demanding. So I haven't had a lot of time to sit down and do much of any paperwork, except just regular claims or ordering or whatever we need to keep going, you know. But
I have something that I told you I would give you a report on every first meeting of the month for Carroll Manor.
Okay. Okay, financial.
She has taken in, oops,
All right.
$104,376 for the first 3 months. And her balance today in the regular fund, 4,900, and not as of today, I'm sorry, March 31st, is 40,354. So it's growing. It's getting there. And then the donation fund is the same as the last month, so.
Yeah, we haven't got any donation checks in. They've been really slow.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
That's all you have?
That's all I have.
Anybody got any concerns with Carroll Manor? Okay,
Thanks.
well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're down to the lawn contracts. Carroll, we have two contracts, one from CNC Enterprises and one from Cooksey Lawn Care for mowing at the parks for this summer, which needs to be started very soon. And we have a copy of those here.
We are early on that. I don't know whether either one of them are coming or not. Have you talked to Cooksey,
Oh, yeah.
Greg? And there's Craig. I never can see him down back there. He must have my height.
Great.
So he is here, I'm sorry. But I haven't heard from Cooksey, so
Well, he had submitted earlier
just
his fees.
in a minute, when they call on you. I guess Greg wants to say something.
Sure. Yes, Greg, speak up.
I don't know, there probably hasn't been a determination yet on the parks contracts, right, or any of the mowing contracts?
That's what we're doing.
We're still in limbo on that,
That's what we're gonna do
We're
today.
gonna try to
but
get it
it
resolved.
will be
today.
settled today?
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay, because our parks are in,
You need
it's
to-
time,
It is time.
it's time. Mother Nature has,
We're pushed to shove.
yeah, it's, we're fortunate with the weather, yeah.
We're finding mushrooms, it's time.
I just have one comment. I know the county highway department's still interested in taking on the task of mowing. My biggest concern is I'm all for summer help, but the mowing season will continue after the summer help has moved on. How do we maintain the mowing? Especially with their schedule is, they work 4 days a week, 10 hours a day. And I don't know when they go off the schedule in the fall. So that's my main concern, if they'll be able to, especially keep care of the parks.
Well, summer help's not available right now,
Yeah,
so, I mean, the mowing needs to be done.
yeah. All right, that's all I got. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
And I guess maybe I'll address it a little bit. At the last meeting, Lauren and I couldn't get together on what we wanted to do. And Greg, on your concern, I wouldn't be necessarily concerned with that, because there are a couple of folks that have the ability, who work full-time at the county highway, who can do this. Now, with that being said, as I stated, we are push come to shove as far as mowing goes. And without the third person here, I don't think Lauren and I will be able to make a decision. However, since we are at that point, I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion that we continue with the contracts with Cooksey and CNC Enterprises for this year. And then potentially, because it's important to me, and I want everyone out there to know, it's important to me when we can save $24,000, we should do that. And that's why that was my stance in at least entertaining the idea of having the county highway do it. But since we are at that point, I will go ahead and make a motion that we continue, at least this year, with the current contractors that we've had in the past.
Sounds good.
Well, I'll state that even, we're not gonna save $24,000. We'll have expense if the county highway does it. How much, we don't know for sure.
Right.
But that, once you take that out of the budget and you put them onto the highway, getting that back there for some reason might be kind of tough to do. I know we've had good service in the past from the mowing. Thank you for that. And we expect the same thing. I think we'll get it. So just knowing that's puts a lot of things at rest, I think. So I will second the motion. Motion been made and seconded to approve contracts with CNC Enterprises and Cooksey Lawn Service. All in favor?
Aye.
Say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Thank you.
I think you should have contracts in your
I've got one here.
packet. Can you sign one of them, please?
Just one?
That's fine.
Copy.
I just scan and scan. Take it.
Hi, client.
So the Cooksey Lawn, are we doing for the, which bid are we doing? The bid for the trimming and the mowing, or just the mowing? I'm just clarifying for me.
I'm sorry?
It's for the mowing and trimming.
Yeah.
Do we do
Yeah.
for all of it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
for all.
because last year we went with just, and then park board paid the trimming, some of the trimming. I'm just making sure. I don't care.
What do you think, Greg? This was total contracts, where I understood we approved.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I just, we
Yeah,
gotta
put
know
those
when
down.
they turn in the
I
bill
signed
what to
them up. You
do.
can sign if you want.
Okay.
Wait, yeah, what's this one for? Oh, here's the, one for, we can sign that one later. Okay. I believe we'll stay in order here, try to. Town of Flora, Flora Community Club, Show Arena rental for West.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I'm here I work for the Flora Community Club, but I'm also here on behalf of the town as I'm helping the town put this celebration on. We are doing a 250th celebration for the 4th of July, as many towns are. I requested the use of that show arena because, as normally what happens in Indiana is on the 4th of July, Mother Nature likes to make a show, and she normally makes it rain.
Yeah.
And so what I'm trying to do is have our backup plan for if it storms, if it rains. That way we're underneath shelter, and there is already stands in there so that we don't have to worry about seating for anybody. It's a very small show. They come in, they set up, they will tear out the same night. It will be cleaned up. It will be ready for fair, which will start set up on Monday morning. And then I can make sure that everything is put back the way that it is supposed to be for that building, because I do use that entire park a lot of the year for the community club, so it's important that we keep it, picked up and taken care of. So yeah, if with your guys' blessing, I would love to use the building. The town would love to use the building, and I can answer any questions that you have.
I don't think I have any questions.
Proof of insurance. Okay, that's for April 6th, excuse me. What's your wishes, Scott?
It'd be, Fourth,
Fourth of July.
Fourth of July weekend, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That's many people.
I'll make a motion that we allow the town of Flora and the Flora Community Club to utilize the show arena for the stump circus at Flora Park.
Okay, I will second. Motion been made to allow the request for to use the show arena on April 6th.
July 4th.
Yeah, today's April 6th.
He's looking at the
That's-
I'm just not
request.
with it today, I'm
It's
sorry.
okay. We signed everything on the 6th, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
I saw it right there, yeah. Got too many dates on here, yeah. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
So much.
All right,
You need to sign that one too,
okay.
back here in the contract.
I just flipped it. I didn't get enough sleep last night, I don't think.
I should probably give you a copy of this contract after it's signed.
Where's the signature? There's that.
Okay.
There's insurance. Okay, let's move on. I'll take care of that in a little bit. Gosh, we're way ahead of schedule. Matt O'Rourke,
Okay,
Structure
we
Point,
need a second.
James Wells.
They have to get set up.
Yeah, we have a little
Oh, okay,
PowerPoint
fine.
we're going to get
Okay,
integrated.
look for signature page. Building insurance.
I'll just make it. You can have this chair.
There's that signature page.
I'm breathing better now.
Yeah, I remember something.
Only took 8 months, right?
I think I'm going to say, okay, Beth, you take over.
Okay, if they're ready. It's about ready now.
We're ready when you folks are.
Okay, yeah, we're all set.
All right, well, good morning, everybody. Appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to talk to us. I believe some of you were in our stakeholder meeting, but back in late 2024 and all through 2025, the Purdue Research Foundation hired us and some of our partners, you see their logos on the screen there, to basically research and look at all things related to SK Hynix. And with that big announcement that they're coming to West Lafayette, there's going to be a lot of jobs, a lot of need for new housing, and a lot of need for supply chain sites. So other businesses that are related to that whole semiconductor ecosystem. And so what the Purdue Research Foundation wanted to do at that time is work with the partner counties that basically surround Tippecanoe and say, what does this mean? What are those impacts? What does that look like? How can you folks take advantage of that in terms of job attraction, business attraction? And so really we undertook this 8 countywide study to kind of go through all those things. If we go to the next couple slides. These were our partners, just a little bit about who we are. We're American Structure Point. We were the prime on this proposal. My name is Matthew O'Rourke. I'm actually the Planning and Economic Development Group Leader there, so I run all of our planning, zoning, landscape architecture functions, and I was in the public sector for 15 years, so doing jobs similar to James. Started my career reviewing fence and deck and shed permits for zoning compliance, and sort of worked my way all the way up through all those things. So been there, worked a lot with private sector companies in these arenas, and so that's one of the reasons we were involved. And then our partners to help with visuals, outreach, And then that last one was very important, My Silicon Compass, headed by a gentleman named Ian Steff, who was the Assistant Commerce Secretary for the U.S., all involved in semiconductors. So his current company, that's all they do, is live in this world. So we want to get our minds wrapped around what this industry was and what those impacts are going to be. And so as we go through the plan or things, by all means, feel free to interrupt me whenever you'd like, anything you'd like me to go over in a little more detail, that would be great. But the basic purpose here was to look at the whole region and say, SK Hynix has already said they're bringing 1,000 jobs to their core facility, the one that's under construction now. And when the supply chain becomes interested, that could be up to 4,000 jobs.
Wow.
Lots of acres of sites, a lot of things that would be needed out there. Probably not enough just around its current campus itself to fulfill that. So where can that go? How does that work in the region? And so you see the map up there. It's a little hard to make out the sites, but how we ended up approaching this study was saying, let's use our development experience and say, how do site selectors, how do companies, how do those folks look at these sites? And it all boils down to this lens of shovel readiness, or just how fast can you get approvals, building permits, does it make sense, is it in the right location, do you have utilities? So we did this for each county, and in particular here in Carroll County, we said, where can we realistically capture that growth? This supply chain, and in the report we wrote, I don't have a lot on it in the slide deck, is there's all kinds of suppliers. Some of them just store natural gases or inert gases that are used in the manufacturing process. Others make the silicone little wafers and need a lot of water. So there's all kinds of businesses related to this, and then the housing training needs that are accompanying that. So we try to step through all that and really highlight it and lay it out so that you folks can start to think about some decisions on how you maybe like to get things moving, how to get policies in place, all those kinds of things. And so that's really what the point of this study was. Look at development sites, working with community leaders to figure out where we think they should go. Are they ready? Are they zoned? Are they in your comp plan, to show that same land use? Do they have utilities? Do they have rail access? We kind of looked at it all encompassing for all 8 counties. And any questions on that, like what the whole purpose was? Great. We'll move on. So part 1 was outreach and site identification. We hosted a meeting here in Carroll County with leaders, did a lot of input, and heard a lot of great feedback, mostly about needs. Sometimes we heard a little bit about care facilities like Carroll Manor, heard a little bit about child care. So as we were developing out what we were hearing, we were also going out looking at the market, and that's a little small on that screen there, but we basically looked at how many sites were currently available, what was under construction, what was vacant, what's like ready to go right now. And so that's summarized here. We looked at commute patterns, how far the sites were from the SK Hynix site in terms of workforce commuting, all those things. Had a lot of great input and a lot of great data, and if we go to the next slide. What we really heard and what we saw, and this is a long list, I won't go through them all, is I think here in Carroll County specifically, and in partnership with some of the communities, things have already been underway. You have the Hoosier Industrial Park started, have some spec buildings out there. There's been periodic updates to codes and comp plans for either the communities or the county, but certainly didn't see that as a holistic look either. There was, it's done a little bit by bit over the years, but it hasn't been done holistically throughout the whole county. It was kind of what we determined. In particular, Carroll County zoning ordinance hasn't had a major update, like an overhaul, since 1971. And so a lot's changed since 1971, just how zoning's done, laws have changed, business models have changed, not everything's accommodated for in there. So these are some of the things that we noticed as we went through part 1, which was really more research, data collection. Let's go to the next one. So we did this across the county. We heard a lot of similar themes. Carroll County was no exception. We need to be proactive if we want to get on top of this. We need to start thinking about shovel readiness in a proactive way. Housing times 10. That came up a lot throughout all the communities. Just hasn't been a lot built. I know thankfully in Carroll County there's been some changes there. There's some construction underway, which is great, but want to say that. And then a lot of things related to jobs and housing, youth retention. Folks graduating high school, moving on, not coming back. That was a big concern because of maybe not finding the opportunities or even just the workforce training that they like to see if they're not going to college. And so these are the kinds of things we heard from a from the community's perspective. And so once we did this, we had a really good understanding what was important to each county. Then we sort of dug into it, so to speak. If we go to the next slide. So first thing we did, we wanted to identify growth areas. And what that means, and this is that appendix I mentioned, we looked at using our partner Ian Steff, looked at every type of upstream and downstream supply chain there is out there, raw materials, semiconductor manufacturing facilities, testing. These chips get tested a lot before they go out in the market. Sometimes they use third parties for that. And so these are all potential supply chain types of users that are going to be coming into this area. And so we did this so we could start looking at land sites and potential either existing ones or future ones and say, how do we align our sites with their needs? And so I have just one little example down there. Typical facility size, water needs, sewer needs. We summarized all that in there to help make better informed decisions. Again, it's all about creating a plan that gets us more to shovel-ready status and starting to look at those investments and things we might want to consider to do that. Not all sites can accommodate all business models. You might not have 3 million gallons a day of water for a wafer manufacturer, but that doesn't mean you can't play in this semiconductor space. If we go to the next slide. So what were the growth areas? Here in Carroll County, you see them highlighted on the map. The yellow ones represent where we think potential housing can go, and the red ones are more what we called employer-supplier sites, the more business-focused ones. And it's a little hard to see here, but we basically identified over 2,500 acres of either housing or industrial sites if it were to play out this way. Not all these are zoned and ready to go, for sure, but based on talking to all the communities and leaders, we felt these were sites that most people felt appropriate for some version of this. If we go to the next slide. So you can see here we took a much deeper dive, which ones were employer sites, which ones are housing sites, potential units. We actually modeled that out because we knew how important housing was to the area. So we have a formula where we could say, all right, X amount of acres typically converts to X amount of units. And so when we did that for each one where we show those yellow boxes up there, that's what came out of that. So for instance, in the Delphi area, whether what's planned or shown on that map, we could increase the housing stock by almost 1,300 units if it played out sort of the ways we think. If we go to the next slide. One more. So we found 1,570 acres approximately of sites just like these, the ones that we're already starting to see build out. The land is here. And in my opinion, Carroll County's done a great job already of showing some advanced thinking on this, going out and doing the spec buildings. You're pretty far ahead of some of the other counties that are in the area, so that's great to see. And then there was a 931 acres worth of residential land potential. Development implications, it could be up to 2,600 new units. Mostly we're looking at this as single family sites, a little bit of multifamily. So a mix of unit types, a mix of price ranges. Talked about youth earlier. How do we plan to keep those folks around? So affordable housing for that generation, but also looking at executive housing. You guys are pretty close to the SK Hynix site, so it's not unreasonable to think that executives might want to take all the great grandeur you have here and want to live around that. So kind of looked at it in every which way we could. And then based on that 1,500 acres, you could potentially have 30 million square foot of building for some various version of industrial use under roof. And that's based on industry standards. Typically, an industrial site, you figure 40% ultimately becomes a building once you add in parking, landscape requirements, setbacks, stormwater retention, all those kinds of things. Just one example, we took a really deep dive for each growth area, and it's all in the write-up in the plan, but we looked at existing water and sewer capacities, how much we think that can handle now, what that can mean for future implications. We looked at land availability in terms of what land's for sale currently and what isn't. We looked at zoning around each of these, and by and large, portions of these sites are kind of zoned for what we're thinking, but they're not 100% up to date, and then a number of them are still in the agricultural class, which is great to have those, but they wouldn't be ready to go from a developer's perspective. Location advantages, so what we meant by that is how close is it to the SK Hynix site, how good are the transportation assets, rail, natural gas lines, electricity, all those sorts of considerations, and then the road network. How fast can we get employers to SK Hynix, or just as important, their supply chain can move through the region. So those are all a number of things we looked at. And that was all about determining site competitiveness. We took it, That's all right. You're good. We took it one step further for both roads and water and sewer, given that we have a whole host of engineers in-house. They actually looked at all of our growth areas and said, if you want to build this out the way we're thinking it could be, here's some most likely road projects, intersection improvements, those kind of things you'd want to start thinking through. So for instance, we have them showing up here, and all those, each number in that list corresponds to a road improvement there. So number one, we're going to want to upgrade East 400 North, the 2-lane part intersection, to make sure it flows better for more trucks, more cars, more traffic. And so our road engineers did a great job helping us refine and frame all those. If we go to the next slide. We did the same thing for water and sewer on the residential side. So we looked at the number of units we're predicting, we looked at the pipe sizes, all these things in the growth areas, and then said, if you brought in this many homes, here's how much water and sewer you need. So we can start to get ahead of that curve a little bit, and as we talk about getting sites ready. We didn't do this on the employer side because it turned out the type of water and sewer needs based on the type of business varied so greatly. There was no great accurate way to predict that. But what we did do in the plan is summarize what existing assets you do have in all these areas, so we could start to get a frame or a mindset around what that all means. So where is Carroll County positioned today? We did this in each area. I highlighted Delphi. We looked at all the strengths. I mentioned the Hoosier Industrial Park. You had the upgrades already to SR 25, which means you're only 26 minutes away from the SK Hynix site, which that's a pretty reasonable commute. It really is. So that, or for a supply chain, that's pretty easy to get back and forth. So you've got a lot of good locational, strategic advantages. You have existing development going, also great. Some of the weaknesses we saw, need to see some of those zoning adjustments, relooking at the zoning codes, modernization, really just to keep up with current business models. One thing when we do code rewrites as our firm, we like to look at is, are you listing every use that ever existed in each zoning district, or are we summarizing those so it's a little more pliable, a little more adaptable to the future? So those are the kind of things we saw in your code that would look at some upgrades. Utility gaps, just not all water and not all the sites we found or were identified were served by adequate water and sewer yet, things like that. And then some GIS mapping stuff, we'd like to see some of the layers that we talked about needing to get out to the development community, water sewer lines. They're not visible to the public yet, so we'd like to see if we can get those out there. If we go to the next slide. So with that, we came up with a series of recommendations and success metrics. This is something that was very important to the whole study group. In particular, the updating the county's GIS is pretty quick, pretty easy. Just got to work with those folks to get those shape files uploaded in there. So information is time. You know, these site selectors, we partner with a firm that does that nationally. They're going online, they're looking for all this first, and if they don't find what they get, they're looking at the other 100 sites that might fit their criteria. So getting that information out there is key. It's a big deal in site selection these days. The next is updating the county's comprehensive plan and our future land use map. Not all the properties that we identified with our community partners were necessarily shown as developable in the existing comp plan, so we want to get that updated. We don't want, if you want to move in this direction, you don't want any confusion between those two, because that's what turns site selectors away. They want certainty, especially this day and age. They like to not be caught up too long in a entitlement process. That would be more preferable for sure. Look at the priority growth parcels, get more in depth. Maybe we look more at the water, the sewer capacities for those ones we really want to focus on in the next few years. Focus attraction efforts on those through James's group and others to really start hitting those home, to get those out there in the world and market them. Number 4 was, I mentioned this a couple times, a review and update the zoning ordinance. Even if that starts with something we call a code audit, we just go through it and say, here's the outdated standards that are most need an update to get you going. And then the final would be to create a capital improvement plan and program. What that means is most communities budget their capital improvements kind of year to year. This would be more of a 5-year lookout to say, all right, in 5 years, if we want some of these sites to get ready, let's start thinking about what road and water and sewer improvements we'd want to, don't necessarily have to fund them, but maybe we start designing them, but if nothing else, let's get them on folks' radar. And then the success metrics were just about, if we're having success, we're making progress towards the recommendations that were outlined. I think we have one more slide, I believe. Uh-oh.
There we go.
Yep. So I put this in here. This is not in the plan. This is new because the state just approved House Bill 1001 and it's getting through the codification process now. They're actually starting to require Indiana communities as it relates to housing to do some of the things that we recommended. In particular, look at your zoning ordinances and your planning to say where this is, to the point where in the bill it says by the 1st of next year, every community that does zoning we're supposed to have a public hearing that talks about doing what we're doing to address zoning needs through zoning, housing needs through zoning and site selection in their process. So I put this in here just to let you know there's some state laws now that this only got approved March 6th, I think. So this is all brand new. We're all starting to figure out what it all means. But this one, just wanted to highlight today that the state sort of created a little sense of urgency here for everybody. So how are we doing to support additional housing, creating expectations for communities to be prepared and responsive? This is all in the bill. And then there's some zoning things that it's a little less clear how all that impacts communities from community to community, but we're starting to try to get ahead of that with folks because you don't want to get to the December and realize this public hearing's looming that the state's going to require. They're also going to be requiring some reporting things back up to the state every year, which this is all prepped for. And so this aligns very well with what I think you guys are in a great spot because we've looked at some housing, we've looked at where it could go. So this is just another way to help show the state you've already been doing that. And if we go to the next slide, I'm not going to go too far into this, but through READY, the region had already done kind of a 7-county-wide housing study. We went and updated those numbers basically to say, what does it mean? We all knew we needed housing. How much more housing do we need now that we know SK Hynix is coming to the region? And so we just re-looked at that and added and found out basically in Carroll County, somewhere between 670 to 750 homes to keep up with current demand was about what was needed. With SK Hynix coming, we think there's going to be a need for an additional 300 to 800 houses in the region. If you break that down by percentage, that adds a little bit more to what Carroll County should be thinking about long term in terms of housing demand. I think we have one more slide on that. Workforce was a big one, and so I just wanted to highlight these things are happening. Purdue Research Foundation is working with Ivy Tech and Purdue to build out specific training in the semiconductor industry. They call it SCALE. But I think getting our local high schools, our local training programs aware of this, getting those folks into the pipeline, quite frankly, making them aware of it. I have a 16-year-old. I don't think he knows anything about workforce training or training programs, even though he goes to a high school that has its own culinary school. It has all the ties to all these things because we're not advertising this stuff on TikTok is the best way I can say it. It's unfortunate, but it's true. That's how they get their information. So we had a lot of recommendations for the region. I think that's on the next slide. Just to talk about building that unified brand, like some ideas we kicked around the semiconductor corridor. You know, that might be a little derivative of other regions, but something like that to brand us as this cool semiconductor area. Regional coordination, that was a great working group. I'd like to see that continue because I think there's a lot of shared issues and problem solving that happened there. Small scale energy production. This is one we put in there because some of these plants do use a lot of power and it's not always ready. But there's examples throughout the state. We put one in there that I worked with where they build their own like on-site gas generation power factories, essentially, small scale. And the good thing is every site we identified in Carroll County, and I think through the region, is really close to a big gas line. And so these are not unfeasible. They're things that can happen. Childcare expansion, I mentioned that at the beginning. That came up a lot. And then housing trust fund for small scale housing development. There's a way to help for governments to help. And I think as a region, since it was such a shared issue, we could get together and pool some funding. But a housing trust fund model works where it's usually a nonprofit that's set up with a board that goes out and buys properties, gets them ready, renovates them. There's some information in House Bill 1001 to extend this, actually. But what they typically do is sell the home and not the land. And that's a way to keep it affordable over time, because then they have a first right to buy back and sell it to somebody else that could use that unit. And so it's a way to help keep the market from raising all the prices on all the homes. So that was what we thought might be applicable because we heard a lot about workforce housing and just general affordability issues. What this means for Carroll County, The growth is starting. You guys have housing development. You've had some rezoning, some PUDs come through for various things here around Delphi and the county. You got great momentum. This whole thing was aligned to kind of say, all right, here's your next steps. Do we want to do more site-specific analysis to really look at the utilities? Do we want to look at the comp plan and the zoning code updates to get everything aligned and ready? This is coming. I think infrastructure will follow. So you guys have a great competitive advantage already because I think you've already taken a lot of those first steps. Now it's really about taking that momentum and really driving it towards the next steps. So I think with that, I know I've gone on for a little bit here. I'd be happy to answer any questions or if there's anything else you'd like to know.
Got a hand up back here. I'd like to go first.
Okay, a couple questions for you. One, what's the anticipated growth for the county
In terms of population or?
population?
So if you end up adding around 2,600 homes, like we said, right now the average household size in Carroll County is around 2.4 people. So that is about, so you do that math, it would be 5,000 to 6,000 people.
Okay. Did you guys look at the strain on first responders already?
We did dive into that a little bit. We didn't get into that by any great detail, just based on the constraints of the study and what are, but that would be the kind of things that you would be wanting to do in a comp plan update. That's where you could really start stepping through that.
Right, I understand that.
Yeah.
But it would have been good if the first responders were kind of given a heads up that this is going to be, because it's going to take time to build the infrastructure.
100%, yeah.
You're talking more ambulances, so we're talking more fire departments possibly, or converting all of our volunteer fire departments, at least one of them, to a paid fire department. You're talking about law enforcement growth.
Absolutely.
And that all comes at the taxpayer expense, but we also have to build that into the plan. So if I could get a copy of that, I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, we're happy to share it. But yeah, no, that's great input. I think I should take a step back and say that this plan was intended to get things started at a high level. It wasn't intended to answer every question, but the whole point was to get things going so we could start answering those other questions too. Because you're absolutely right. EMS, fire services, that's always going to be key for any time you grow.
Public services.
Yeah, 100%.
The school system.
School impacts. That's another reason we always recommend doing the ordinances with the comp plan, because you can build in requirements for traffic studies, school impact studies, things like that. As developments come online, you start looking at that with the developer. And if they know that's in the code, they know they have to do it. Again, they're, do they love expenses? No, but at least it's not ambiguous. It's ready to go. They know they have to at least meet that requirement. So that's another way we could provide clarity towards that shovel-ready mindset.
You mentioned community members and leaders were involved in this initial study.
Yep.
Who were they?
So working with James's office, we had a couple of calls with various either council members on the county council or in the various communities to help kind of figure out what these sites were. And then we had our big engagement exercise at the beginning of the process. We had a lot of folks from all the communities and the council come in and we did like an hour and a half work session to talk about a lot of these issues.
Well, it's a lot of information, but there's a lot more information to be sought after, I think, too.
Yep, I think that was a consistent theme through all 8 counties. This is a great start, but now it's time to start really thinking through coalescing all the information and start thinking through these issues if we want to really participate in this opportunity.
Well, we're not used to big growth in Carroll County.
Sure.
As you can see, I go to Indianapolis and you drive down on the north side on 421.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, every time I go down there, there's more and more going on.
Yep.
Most of it's housing in that area, and I mean, they're not $100,000 homes.
Nope. But I think a good example is you look at the LEAP district and what Lily's doing right off 65. I mean, that seemingly sprung up out of nowhere.
But we don't really want a project like that.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting you do. It's just amazing what is happening out there. So.
Yeah, if that's good or not.
Yep. Well, that's why you want to do your plans too.
Right, I understand that.
What does the community want?
Was lacking in that process, I think.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Excuse me, my name's Chris Etwell. I'm on the Delphi Community School Board, and I'd just like to know, when you do this work session, if our superintendent or a couple of our representatives will be notified so we can take part in this?
We did reach out to those folks. So this happened about a year ago or more,
Okay.
the work session. We're just going on out and communicating what the results of this study were. When the county takes on a new comp plan or these efforts I've recommended, those folks would be not only welcome, we'd love to have them on the steering committees and other folks too, to really talk about the other impacts, that not just what the jobs and the housing are, but what are the impacts to the community and how do we get them integrated. We always recommend having school board members on our steering committees for just that purpose.
Right.
But that's not being undertaken at the moment.
Okay, thank you.
But to that point, when we do comprehensive plans as our firm, the thing I always love to say, it's for EMS, school, residents, and developers, it's all about predictability. We have an idea of where we think development should go and what it should look like. If it shouldn't be the Lily, what should it be? When you get through that process, if you do it right with all the public engagement, those are all known issues. And then you have a document that you point to and say, hey, yeah, this is what we thought did make sense here, so let's move forward with that.
So what are you proposing to us?
This was a commitment we made during the process to do what I call a roadshow and just go out and explain the information to everybody and let them know the report's here and the information's there. There's no quote unquote ask today.
Right.
We're just here to present it, work with James, and
That's what I thought.
yeah. This is really just an information only purpose. I do think there's some things we've outlined you want to start thinking through, whether that be a further deep dive on the sites, the codes, the comp plan updates, all those things to help align your vision with what might happen in the region.
Right. Yeah, Mike.
Mike Martin, Carroll County Area Plan. So in the last month or two, we've been in discussion to get the comp plan updated. There was a quote done a few years ago to have it completely updated. At the time, it wasn't received very well.
Okay.
So I've approached that individual to have it redrafted up because they already pretty much had it done essentially. We'll just have to change the quote. I think they're going to also help with try to find a grant to cover the cost of that. And then the intent would be, the next thing would be to update the zoning ordinance completely. So that's not necessarily in the works, but we're heading in that direction. So give you guys a heads up on that.
Yep. Thank you.
What's the online address for viewing this report?
There was never a website or anything like that established. We can send it out to folks. It's a pretty big document.
Okay.
We'd have to put it like a share file site and then get it to everybody.
Okay.
But we're happy to do that.
Okay, so I think it should, that should go to the auditor, that.
Sure. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anybody else have anything? Questions? Scott, you have anything?
Nope.
Well, thank you for your information.
Yep. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, board.
Mike Fincher, EMA Director.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Mike.
A couple things for you. At your March 16th meeting, you approved a contract with Critical Matters Consulting regarding the updating of the courthouse EAP to be in line with OSHA standards. And since I'm not an OSHA guy, we reached out to him. I've got the one for you guys to sign. I just need the signature on that. You should have, I think you got a copy.
They've got them in there.
Okay, you got it. Go ahead. And on your approval, you guys are going to take it out of professional services. That's into Ted's money. That's into Ted's money. I was cracking a joke because he made it funny.
He doesn't get that money.
Did I sign right beside you, or?
Yeah, I just.
You sign right there.
I guess.
I can't read art. Barely read my own writing. Okay. How many copies do you need? 2?
Two, one for me and, or to give back to Justin, and then one for the auditor.
While we're at it, I'll ask Sheriff, applicants, since we've opened up, the application process for courthouse security.
I haven't counted them, I've counted them today, but as of Friday, I think we have 22.
22.
And we're taking applications through the 10th.
Okay. Through the 10th of April. Okay, thank you.
Yes, and Turner, I have another question. Would one of you like to be a part of that interview process?
Beth, do you need these, or those are both signed?
I'm sorry. What was the question?
If any of us want to be part of the interviewing process, I don't think that'd be a bad idea. Yeah, and I would be interested.
Okay. When I get more dates ironed out, because it depends on how many people apply, if we get rid of any of them prior to, but we're gonna have a written test, we're gonna do everything that goes along with it. So when I get better dates, I'll give them to you.
Very good, thank you.
The next thing, about fixing the doors down at the 405 Cottage at the annex building. We had originally turned in one quote from Mohops. You guys asked me to get another. The Mohops quote was for $8,251.64. Anderson Glass came out and did one, and they can do the same job for $7,000.
Comparable doors, I mean,
Comparable doors, yeah. And that money's already been approved.
Where was it approved from? Do you recall?
Edit or COMM cap, it was one of those two.
Okay.
I want to say it was
So
out
that
of
bill-
Edit. Yeah, it was last month when it got approved.
Okay, all right. So the council approved it?
Yes, the council already approved it.
In what amount? The 80?
10,000.
The 10,000?
Right, remember when I was talking to you guys, I asked you
Yeah.
just to give me a
Right.
leeway of up to 10 grand,
you're gonna spend it.
just in case it didn't come back how you wanted it, and the one from Anderson's did come back a little bit cheaper.
So do we need a motion to?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we contract with Anderson Glass out of Logansport for the amount of $7,000 to replace 2 steel doors down at 405 Cottage.
I'll second the motion. Motion been made and seconded to contract with Anderson Glass to replace 2 doors for $7,000 at the facility on Cottage Street, the annex, Carroll County Annex. All in favor?
Aye?
Aye, motion carried.
And then one thing that's not on the agenda because it came out Friday night, the Building Resilient Infrastructure for Communities grant opened up, or the pre-application at least opened up. The problem with this grant is that there's a 25% match. I mean, there's a lot of projects that we're looking at doing. Some of them are involving generators. There's just quite a few. We could be awarded up to $300,000. So before I go through the pre-application and the application process, is it worth doing? And would you guys back along with the council? I know you can't answer for them, but would you guys back a 25% match?
I think we'd be silly not to.
Okay.
Do you concur?
Just seeing what that would be. $75,000 match, $75,000. Yeah,
On 300,000.
get some assets out of it.
Agreed, yeah.
Yeah. Any motion on that?
You should probably, because the council will consider your recommendation.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve.
Recommend.
Recommend a 25% match on the grant process.
Do you want to put a cap on it up to?
75,000 would be the
Want
25%.
to put a cap on it then? Or-
Yeah, a cap of $75,000.
That would be the grant, that would be the match portion.
For a $300,000
Okay.
grant.
That would
For a
be
match portion.
Yeah, that would go up to 300.
That'd be our responsibility, up to 300. Okay, I'll second that. Motion been made and seconded to support opportunity for a grant for,
Building resilient infrastructure for communities,
we just got that.
And who is that from?
the feds. It's a federal grant. It's a mitigation grant is what it is. So, I mean, it's limited in scope on what I could do. I could do warning signs if we went that way. I could do generators and stuff like that. So instead of looking at building, like providing certain generators for certain shelters and that, I'm looking at buying large enough portable ones that are trailered, and then we could move them around, you know, because usually the whole county will not get hit if there is one, but we'd be able to move them to different shelters and that. It's just,
Instead of being permanent at
right.
particular fixture.
So it's one big grant.
It's a huge grant.
I mean, but it's one grant.
have
It
several.
won't
Yes.
be single little ones. Okay.
No, it's one big grant.
Okay, we still got
I
to
need the
vote.
name of it, but you can send it to me instead of writing. it.
BRIC.
Huh?
BRIC. And I also had to let one of the dispatchers in training go, so I'm back down. I'm down one. I still have two in training.
We need to vote on that, on the
Yeah.
motion. All in favor of the motion to allow for 25, up to 75,000 match for the $300,000 grant?
Okay. Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Building.
Okay, we're down to other commissioners' business.
Ted,
Yes.
if there's anything further we need to discuss.
Yeah, just for the public, you know, the board met in executive session this morning on the single tree property exchange, and there's nothing that needs to be conducted today. There's no final action required. We're gathering more information, so nothing, no action required today. And while it's on my spot here, I wanted to acknowledge that I'm working on, and have not completed, there are two different ordinances. One is the that Mike Martin has and the Area Plan Commission have proposed. The easier one is going to be the supplemental district regulations for accessory dwelling standards, and I will definitely have that for the next meeting. I told him that I would try to have it for this meeting, but I didn't get it done. So I will definitely have that for the next meeting. The one that's a little more complicated because it involves repealing certain portions of the existing county code has to do with the public nuisance ordinance. I'm going to have a draft of that, but I don't think, I think that needs some more consideration because of it needs more clarity in terms of the, who the actual enforcement authority is. And we don't have control over all of the persons that this pretends to, proposes to authorize to do and to cite individuals for violations. So this is going to take some more time, but I'll at least have language and explanations of what my concerns are with this. There is nothing wrong with the concept, but as far as legally being able to implement it, it's really not something that can be totally implemented by the county. It would probably require an interlocal agreement with other municipalities to be able to put into place. So I haven't given these comments to Mike yet, and I didn't want to, I didn't mean to blindside him in any way, but that's going to take a little more time. So there are two ordinances. One is going to be on the agenda. That's to consider that the board could adopt the supplemental district regulations for accessory dwelling units. And I think you have copies of these already, so they were distributed probably 2 months ago.
Ted?
Yes, sir.
I believe they've already voted on that.
They did? They did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you weren't here for that meeting, so
Okay.
maybe you just missed that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Well,
that's already
done. Okay. Was there an ordinance that was with that? Because I don't remember, or did they just vote on it?
It's a legit ordinance. It's
Yeah,
filed.
probably.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't in this form though, right?
no,
It was not?
it was completely redone. Cindy redid
Okay.
it, got it done. It looks exactly like any other ordinance
Okay,
we have.
very good. Okay. I stand corrected on that. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Tim. Sorry, I overlooked, I had you crossed out completely on here, so, because we're single tree. I'd like to ask Doug Atkinson come up. Doug Atkinson has served as our EMS director for, gosh, what year, Doug? 1993?
Well, yeah, 1993 is when I came here as an assistant director.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
and then
started
took
out
over
here.
in 2014.
Yeah.
Who was the director then?
Durr,
Mike
Durr.
Durr.
Yeah.
Mike Durr.
Yep.
He trained you,
Sure
he
did.
mentored you, and he did his job.
He did.
He did a great job. Well, it saddens me, but I'm happy for you that Doug's taking on a new role. He become a grandfather.
Yep.
So I want to congratulate you on that, but his term here at the Carroll County, and has done a wonderful job. We can't thank you enough, but he's asked for retirement. And I think we'll have the pleasure of his wishes.
Yeah.
To accept his letter and wish him the best.
Thank you. It's been an honor. It's been fun. So I'll miss it, but time to move on
You
and enjoy life.
can always.
Oh, I'll be around. I will.
Yeah.
I will.
You get out practice.
Yeah.
I just want to say a few words as well. From being on the council, Doug was one of those persons that we didn't have to worry about.
You didn't have to worry about it.
He was so frugal and so good at transferring money hither and yon to make certain that the budget stayed within the budget. He's one of those department heads that when he came to you with a need, you knew he needed it and it wasn't going to be wasted. And that I will certainly miss, even though I'm not on the council any longer. But I've made the comment many times, and I've made the comment to Mike Fincher and others. We tend to be so blessed in Carroll County to have what I consider local folks who could be in Tippecanoe County, Howard County, they could be in Marion County, doing the same thing for twice the amount of money that they're making here. They have stayed here I think simply because it is a great community and we all tend to work together, and it, you know, we have that small town atmosphere where we all still care. And I'm very, very thankful for people like Mike and like Doug, you know, who control, and Sheriff, the folks that control our safety and security in the county, which is of utmost importance. So thanks again, Doug. I appreciate all you've done.
Well, we thank you for your guys' support too, because we couldn't do it without, you know, collaborative effort between you guys and the council and, you know, everybody. I have to give Beth a lot of credit, and the ladies up here in the auditor's office have helped me, you know, over the years tremendously. So credit to everyone, and I hope continuing forward, you guys, you know, give the next director the same support. So.
I'd like to say something.
Sure.
Douglas, well, you are going to be missed, but what I really think is great, this guy can walk up to the counter, I will hand him an early bill, he'll stand there and fill it out and give it right back to me. He knows his numbers, he knows he's got money in that line, he knows his stuff, and that's not the EMS part, but I know you know your stuff there too, so I'm going to miss you.
I'll be around.
Yeah, you had, I mean, with the scheduling and the short staffs, all that, and the budget, plus the medical part. People don't realize, I don't think, what you did.
There's a lot, and I have to give kudos to Dave too. Dave's the assistant director here, and he's done a wonderful job stepping in, and he's picking up and learning. So he's done a good job.
Now, your request is for May 31st?
Yeah.
So we need to find someone.
That was my question, is
Yeah.
do you guys want, typically how we've done it in the past, or at least when I was hired, the EMS committee is the one that kind of did the interviewing and then presented a name to you guys for acceptance, or is that something that you guys want to do? It's whichever way.
And do you want to, I mean, I need to know if I advertise it or he advertises. It's been a long time since we've had to advertise for EMS, but for EMA, and that we did the advertising and then gave the applications to them to look through, because they know more about it than you and I.
I think that'd be fine if
Do it that way?
we want to advertise it and then pass those along to Doug, and I would be fine with the EMS committee.
Volume 2, making recommendation.
Making a motion and then bringing it to us.
Yeah.
Well, we have a meeting on Wednesday, so.
Yeah, I think I sent you a message. I'm going to be unable to attend because of work.
Right.
If
You might put in some clarifications, what I need to put in there.
I'll look at it.
we just want to make sure we have enough time, so I know you're anxious to retire. So by May 31st, we have that position filled.
And I'll be, like I say, I want a seamless transition, so I'll be willing
Right.
to help out and do
Right.
whatever I need to do.
Oh, we appreciate that. So we need to get that advertised, get the ball rolling, so.
How many weeks do you want to advertise?
I would just do what's the minimum, two?
A couple.
What's the minimum?
Is that our policy when an opening comes
I
up?
mean,
What's that?
Advertising?
how many weeks do you want to advertise it in the paper? And then he can send it to different EMS departments.
How long do you think it needs to be open for?
I mean, I think the quicker we get it done, the better, so.
I would say if I could get it in the paper this Friday, it would go the next 3, that would give you a month.
Is that too long?
I don't know, I'm asking you guys.
I'm asking that. That sounds long to me.
Yeah, you would probably need.
We haven't
2
even
weeks,
got-
You need to be
2 weeks.
interviewing by the
2
first.
weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
We really haven't done that. We've usually done 2 to, actually 4.
What's the best place for us to put this word out? You probably haven't been studying
Our
those.
best luck finding individuals to work has been our Facebook page, kind of word of mouth. I've tried Indeed, haven't gotten those type of things haven't gotten hardly any responses back.
I mean,
In the
zip,
bigger- Putting it in the bigger papers
Yeah.
don't do
Yeah,
it.
papers didn't really do it.
do you do the JC online anymore? Nope,
Never have.
never have.
Really, if we get word, I mean, if I put it out there, it'll spread.
It gets spread.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, our answer might be right under our nose,
Yeah, I think it is.
but we got to open up for everybody.
That is true.
Because we haven't done this for a while, I think we probably should, auditor and
We'll work
and
on
you work on the ad, but I think maybe Kent Herwin's firm can give you,
Yeah.
take a look at it.
We have samples in our file.
Yep, you got something already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there may
But I
be
will call.
requirements that are in effect now that we need to mention in it, or?
I think most of the requirements were set by the commissioners as far as the
Yeah,
state goes, there's not
yeah.
a lot.
I mean, what we have on file may or may not be up to date, so.
We'll get it done, I
Yeah,
promise.
okay.
Well, yeah,
Doug has been proactive, as is the sheriff and as Mike Fincher and Bob Grossier. They're very much aware of legal things, okay? And it makes my job a lot easier. And they're very proactive and have their antenna up and get a hold of me before we have a big problem. They probably saved countless claims, maybe even against the county, because they're attuned to that. And he's about patient care.
I know.
And that's
highly.
that's the number one thing as far as I'm concerned with EMS,
I don't think we had any problems in that area.
We don't, so I'm gonna miss him too.
It makes your job tougher, it makes it rougher on the county, is we don't have a hospital in our county.
Yeah, that's a big
That's a
thing.
challenge, because have enough service when you need it with 3 facilities.
I do have one other thing that I actually forgot to bring it. I think I sent it to you, Ted.
Yeah,
The
it's good,
Malcon-
okay,
the
yeah.
Malcon agreement.
Yeah.
So we-
Do they have that?
I don't know if I sent it to him or not.
I've looked at it. It's just an update, a renewal of an existing contract, and it's okay, so.
It's through Malcon. They do our Medicare cost report
I
that
have
gives
my
us
file.
extra money.
So
Every year.
if the board would make a motion to
I need to
authorize,
get that too. I don't have it.
authorize any member of the board to sign the Malcon renewal contract. I didn't make a copy of
I
it.
didn't either. I totally went off and forgot it, so.
So I'll make a motion
Any-
that we authorize any one of us 3 to sign the Malcon contract.
Renewal contract.
renewal.
Okay.
I'll second. Motion been made and second to allow any of the commissioners to sign the Malcon
Malcon.
renewal contract. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Doug.
Thanks, Doug.
Okay, anything else brought before the board?
Yeah, you've got some other,
I know, I was gonna ask first.
well, that was
Finish up
really
there.
for me, so I need.
Chris, you had your hand up.
Just as a concerned citizen about the nuisance ordinances, I was wondering if you were putting something in there as far as enforcement of these ordinances, especially for a person like me that, I live in Rockville and it's an unincorporated town. And I know Camden, they have their own board, and Laura, and of course Delphi does, but I'm concerned about what happens out in the smaller communities that are unincorporated. And we have no enforcement as far as, we had a house burnt down and now it's just sitting there, it's not being cleaned up. And so I was just wondering if you're gonna put something in these ordinances that will help the area plan or whoever to reinforce the cleanup of these nuisances, because,
We can make you a copy of what we got.
okay, I appreciate that. And then there is gonna be enforcement then?
That's the question as much as anything.
Yeah.
The proposed change authorizes any department head, I think, as I recall, any department head of the county. So that would be, I think the intent is the sheriff. And it also authorized, where it goes beyond that, it also authorized township trustees. Well, we need some kind of a legal agreement with the township to be able to do that. We need a legal agreement with the schools. We're talking about multiple jurisdictions here with this ordinance, whereas prior to that, it's been pretty much the health department and the area plan commission that have been responsible for code enforcement. There are some things that are delegated to the sheriff. Some of them have delegated all three. So all that needs to be, and it repeals a lot of our existing code that we've got to do it in a way that it's legally enforceable. And because it attempts to give more authority to persons other than just the county officials. So it needs to be looked at by those other entities, and there needs to be some kind of some interlocal cooperation agreement to be able to make it work that way.
Okay, I'm just wanting to get some kind of movement out of these people that own these properties that just leave them, basically, they just abandon them. And there we are. You know, our COMM, it's just an eyesore, and we can't get people that want to come in. I mean, we have people coming in.
Yeah, we can get you a copy of this, you know.
Okay,
This has been recommended to the board by the Area Plan Commission.
I know. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, we got a couple other things here to take care of before we leave here. Ratify the
It's called
contract.
COMMS contract signed by the
Yeah, Mike did that.
EMA director, Mike Fincher. He said he could sign
I
it, but
talked
then
to
he
him
would
on it, but-
ratify it later.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we ratify both the COMM's contract with EMA and the courthouse grounds application for the Easter egg hunt.
Oh, you simplified it, thank you. Motion been made to ratify both
I have one more that can be included in there.
contracts.
We talked about the HSA, but we never really
Oh, yeah.
signed off on the requirements. Brought to my attention last week when we had an insurance meeting. Lauren met with us and the insurance people. So I'd like to have that ratified, that all it is that we're doing the same thing as we did last year.
I'll make a motion that we ratify the HSA
Benefit package.
Okay.
benefit package as same as last year as well.
Okay. I'll second that. What that is for the wellness program,
Yes.
and to go into the health savings account for the employees who participate in it, and they get $1,000, up to $2,000 for the year if they participate.
They made all the
twice.
requirements, that's correct.
So just so people are aware. I'll second the motion. It's a great program for incentive to be more healthy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Well, that's it for today, I guess, folks. So, thanks for coming, and
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
we're going to adjourn. I'll second.
He's going.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Do we have who's here?
No.
MJ?